Hey friend, welcome to the Get Rooted in Health podcast. I'm Gabby Flater, a faith-led wife, mom of 3, certified nutrition consultant, personal trainer, and passionate about changing lives. I know how frustrating it can be to navigate the health and wellness world. You want to be motivated to prioritize your well-being and wish you were more educated when it comes to cultivating a healthy home. Maybe you're a mom who's completely burnt out and needs a fresh perspective on life, or you're searching for a place to feel seen, heard, and encouraged in a godly manner. No matter if you're doing the dishes, getting your sweat on, or drinking reheated coffee while watching the kids play, there is always an opportunity for growth. If you are ready to finally take action about these desires and are ready to learn, grow, and transform your mind, then you are in the right place. It's time to establish deeper roots so you can enjoy a more fruitful and fulfilling harvest. Let's dig in. Hey friends, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode on the Get Rooted in Health podcast. My name is Gabby. Thank you so much for tuning in and being here with me this week. Wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in from, I hope that this message finds you well and enjoying this time of the year. We're already in November, guys. Happy November. I think this is the first episode of November. Wow. I was just telling my son his birthday is in 2 months. His 7th birthday. I couldn't believe it. He was like, "What? But it's not even close to January." I said, "Bud, it's November. Then it's December, and then it's January." So that is just wild to me. How time just keeps going on. I just had that conversation on a run this morning with a friend where I was like, I met you this year, literally the year before 2020, and before so much of my life changed, and just looking back, seeing God's hand in it all and all the different doors that opened that I had no idea were going to be such a blessing now in my life. Because I had no idea what was coming. So yeah, time is wild. So I, ahead of time, want to apologize if you hear any random loud cheering. I have my family downstairs finishing watching the football game. So my son can get real into it. So just a forewarning there. I am sneaking upstairs so that I can get a moment to be able to record this. And I just found it really, just a quick side note, just super relatable. There's this farmhouse, or what is her podcast called? The Simple Farmhouse Life or something. And I believe hers is the Little Spoon Farm is her blog or whatever. I'm not really sure. Anyway, I think she just had her 7th child, and I haven't listened to her podcast for a very long time, maybe over the last year and a half, and she just had, again, her 7th baby, and she has said, I've had different seasons, and there's been babies, every other year of this podcast, in my arms or nursing or in the room. And I was just like, yes, thank you. Someone else's podcast that at least makes me feel seen and known that I'm not the only one that has this passion and drive to want to continue to record and bring content and build a community, but in an authentic way, because this is life. And so I'm going to have my baby sometimes with me because that's just how it's going to work. And the only way it's going to work sometimes. So I just found that very relatable. And that's where I really hope to get it with you guys, is just to really pinpoint those relatable moments and be able to be authentic and real with you guys and bring you along for the ride in the journey, because it's just life. I'm not here putting on some performance show. You didn't pay thousands of dollars to listen to this podcast. If you did, I would not be bringing distractions in this room. And, we would be on stage at an event. So, it's just so nice to see other moms with similar lives and missions and drives and callings to be authentically living that out despite the seasons of life, of motherhood and parenting and all of that comes with it. So Anyway, I don't have a baby in the room with me at the moment, so I said I'm just sneaking away while my husband, it's a Sunday afternoon and I can have a moment. And I was like, I'm just going to go record because I don't mind missing a football game. I love watching football, but I can miss it to come do this. So here we are. Anyway, so today we're going to chat about, I've been wanting to do this for so long, guys. I don't know why I've been putting it off, but I just want to talk to you guys about electrolytes. I know you guys see me share all the time about my favorite brand, Element. It's spelled LMNT. And I stumbled across them probably 3 years ago, I want to say. And I've honestly been taking them faithfully ever since. I probably have one every day or every other day, especially during the summer months and when I am nursing a baby. It's huge. And I have fallen in love with them. I love so many of their different flavors. And I just wanted to talk to you guys briefly about just the benefits of electrolytes, how they function. And I know some people are taken aback by if they look at the electrolytes that I have been recommending, like, whoa, 800 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium, like that is a lot. And I thought so too. And honestly, it's not, especially we'll get into, in terms of what your diet is, how active you are, all of those things. We need sodium, and I think I know it's gotten a bad rap over the years, and the FDA or whatever has given us this idea that too much sodium is a bad thing. And yes, there's definitely you don't just want to eat gobs and gobs of salt, but I think they just made it across the board a standard. And so then so many people that are working out, that are nursing moms, that do eat healthy and clean, maybe we're too scared to consume salt past what was, I guess, recommended. And no wonder people were dealing with issues. Salt is what allows our body, it's an electrolyte. It's part of how our body functions and creates connections and how our body functions and having energy and allowing you to be fully hydrated. It allows your cells to be fully hydrated, because just drinking water, gobs and gobs of water, is not going to fix the problem. You are just going to pee it all out because it has nothing to bind to, has nothing to glom onto, and that would be pointless. So all seasons, we're entering the winter season here in the Midwest, and all seasons are important to stay hydrated, especially if you're someone who works out. So especially after days of cycle, you can do your electrolytes pre-workout, during your workout, post-workout. I mostly do them post-workout because I feel like I want to get my coffee, I want to drink some water. Maybe I have a pre-workout and I can't drink all the things. And so I usually will save my electrolytes for post-workouts, especially cycle days. I sweat buckets. It's insane. It's ridiculous. So if you're someone that's active like me, or just a mom chasing kids, or nursing, you don't have to be sweating bullets in order to need electrolytes. If you are someone who has a routine workout plan, moves their body, is active, maybe you do a lot of yard work, maybe your job is demanding in that way, or you eat a very clean, very minimal processed diet, because they pack so much sodium into those prepackaged foods, you're going to consume a lot that way. If you're eating bags of potato chips, frozen dinners, crackers, you name it. Anything that's just not whole food, you're going to have a lot of sodium in there. And so that's where I would draw the line of being mindful of, if you're going to drink one of these, you're tacking on an extra 1,000 on top of how much are you already consuming through not good food. That is where we need to kind of figure that out. So again, if you're someone who's active and eats a fairly whole foods diet, which would be minimally processed, electrolytes are going to be of benefit to you. Sodium has had a bad rap and has been demonized, but unless you're super sedentary, like I was saying, and that you eat many boxed bags and frozen meals, then it really is nothing to worry about. And I, again, have had zero issues or concerns of any kind with drinking one of those packets a day. Some days I would have maybe a half of a serving more. It all depends. I've even given my kids half of a serving. It even helps when they're sick or when they're busy out and about outside. I mean, your kids are sweating. They're running around. They're depleting their electrolyte stores as well. They definitely need that too. So you can drink, all the water that you want, but eventually there's going to come a point when you're just, like I said, going to pee it all out along with all the sodium. And so then you're just going to dilute all the sodium in your body. You're going to reduce it when you get rid of that waste. And I realized that there were, I was doing electrolyte brands, but I actually, then when I learned about Element, I was like, so they have 1,000 milligrams of sodium. What is that? What have I been consuming? Like, what is this brand? Why are they putting so much in here? What have I been consuming? And it was crazy to me that I would look at my other brands and it was very little. Very, very little. Could be 80, could be 300 maybe. And I was appalled. I was like, oh, sodium must be a big deal for people then. As I was like, what am I paying for? And I didn't want to pay for something that wasn't going to give me my biggest bang for my buck, I wanted it to hydrate me. And so if you're still feeling, dizzy, you're seeing stars, fatigued, more thirsty, that's not supposed to be happening after or during workouts. It's not normal. And I've had that before. You've gotten up too quick and you're like, whoa, that was like a head rush. Or like you see stars, or you just get headaches, or you just feel foggy sometimes. Yeah, your body's missing an essential mineral that creates these electrical charges in your body for function. Okay? And so what are electrolytes? They're minerals that conduct electrical charges in your body. And the primary electrolytes are sodium, potassium, chloride, magnesium, and calcium. And so you want to be making sure that you're getting these into your body so that you are functioning. You're having electrical charges. Think of like spark plugs in your body, and they're responsible for over 20,000 bodily reactions, including the creation of energy. So sometimes even in the afternoons where I'm like, man, why? I really want another cup of coffee. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I do, especially in the winter months when it's cold and you're like, I just want something warm. I really should I don't always make coffee, but I need to make sure that I have some tea and other things on hand so that I'm not like overstimulating my body. But my point is, sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't have my electrolytes. I forgot. Or I just didn't get to it. Or I did, and maybe I just need more. And when I take them, I feel energized, and I feel good, and I feel less brain foggy. So we need those electrolytes for nerve impulses to fire and for these reactions to happen in the body. So if you're dealing with those kinds of symptoms where you're just thirsty all the time, maybe you're craving salty things, you're dizzy, seeing stars, just fatigued, headaches, lethargic, I would hit up some electrolytes with some good sodium content, okay? And you can even make your own, it's called Soleil. That's a fun name. I've made it before too. You just like fill up a mason jar with water and dump in some really good quality Himalayan salt is what I've used, pink Himalayan. Redmond is a great brand that I would highly recommend for salt. But you can just let it sit and be concentrated in the water, and you'll have your own concentrated salt solution, and you could literally add it to smoothies. You could just drink it straight up. You could you could do whatever you want. Squeeze some lemon in it and make a lemon salty drink. If you don't want to spend money or buy other things, you can get your sodium in that way. So you can just look into Soleil. I think it's Solay is how you spell it. Or E, if it's one of the two. You'll find it. You will find it. Okay, so sodium is going to allow the body to deliver the nutrients into the cells. Like I said, water alone cannot. You're going to eventually just rid it all out of your body. There's nowhere for it to go to break through the barriers in your body to hydrate the muscles and the cells and the organs and all the things. It needs something. So it's going to help deliver the nutrients into the cells. It's going to balance the pH of your blood and control muscle contractions. Okay. That's along with like magnesium and stuff. When I started taking magnesium in terms of from this element and from just a supplement in and of itself, there's 2 brands that I've used. I've used Bioptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough, and another brand that a podcast I listened to, Well Fed Women, she came out with her own, More Chill, I believe it is. And it's actually a much different strain, and it has helped with sleep a ton. And yeah, your body's ability to just rest and relax. So that's going to, I would get like leg cramps sometimes, especially during pregnancy. I would wake up with like a Charlie horse or whatever. And I never did ever since I started combining both of these things into my life. And it's been wonderful. It's going to help with hormone regulations. Low sodium can actually spike cortisol, which is an important part of the stress response. So if you feel like you've got anxiety, anxiousness, like there's something that's just off, and you really need to address, we have macronutrients, which are your carbs, fats, and proteins, right? Well, where are your minerals at? Are you really focusing on making sure that you're getting adequate amounts of sodium, some magnesium, some potassium, all of that in your diet? And it's hard these days. And so these things that companies have come out with that are just clean ingredient things are huge and so helpful, because our soils are so depleted these days. It's not like it used to be back in the day, and we're just losing out on so much of that nutrition in the food that we're buying. I'd noticed, again, huge benefits when deciding to commit to taking these higher sodium ones. I was able just to continue to stay hydrated well when I was breastfeeding. I'm currently still. I have an 8-month-old, and this is my 4th, and I've been exercising through all of my pregnancies and postpartum, coming back to it, and having just an easier time feeling like excited to drink water and actually hydrating my body. Like, we can only drink so much water, and it's just like boring. And so then it's just fun to have all these different flavors and know that I'm actually hydrating my body to allow it to refuel and be able to produce milk and all of the things that it needs to. And, even when I'm out gardening or out on a walk with the kids or just playing with them, your energy is being used. Maybe you're sweating. It's the summertime. So just keep in mind, all of those things add up, and we can all benefit from the sodium levels being higher to help with all of those things happening, all of those symptoms that you might be having. So, even on the rare days that I'm not working out, I'll still take one. It keeps me hydrated. Again, helps with milk supply, gives me energy, helps with headaches. If I feel like I've hit a wall in the afternoon, usually I will take one. Drinking it upon waking, I was doing that for a while too. Usually that's in my early postpartum months when I'm not exercising and working out and things. I just drink that. Sometimes I would mix it with like a greens powder, and I just wanted to start my morning really just functioning well. And so I wanted to make sure that I got all of those into my system before even getting coffee, because it was just super important to me to just stay hydrated and on top of things and be able to show up for my kids as best as I could. So that was a great way to do so. So I drank one in the mornings on my porch, just really enjoying that. Like I said, some people will drink it 30 minutes prior to working out, kind of prep your body for the sodium that it's going to lose. You can drink it during, you can do it post. I mean, it's very customizable to the person. So you lose electrolytes when you sweat and when you go to the bathroom. And so exercising and eating a whole foods diet means that you're naturally consuming less sodium. Okay. So I recommend really looking into brands that are going to up that sodium level. So Element and Redmond, that salt brand that I told you, Relight is their electrolyte brand. That one has about, I think, 800 to 850 grams. Oh, I have it right here. I wrote it down. The Redmond has 810 milligrams of sodium, 50 milligrams of magnesium, and 400 milligrams of potassium. Has some chloride and calcium in it as well. The Element, I will put in a 24 to 36 ounce bottle of water. So if you want it less salty tasting, you add more water. If you like the salt, then you can do less water. Many people are like, oh, it's too salty for me. And I'm like, hey, I love it. I've grown to love it. I crave it. And so the Element brand has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Malate, which is easy on digestion and absorbable. So that's the kind of magnesium that they use. There's an Element, again, I'm obsessed with it. So it's 0 sugar, no calories. It's gluten-free. There's no fillers, artificial ingredients, tons of flavors. I absolutely love. Now they actually came, it used to be seasonal. Grapefruit. Love, love, love grapefruit. Now it is for good. It's there to stay. I love the raspberry and I love the citrus. Those are my top 3. There's watermelon. There is orange. There is... there's unflavored. So you could just add, it's just literally not, there's no flavor to it. Just the salt. They have some chocolate variety ones, which I've added to protein, like chocolatey protein drinks, or you can make like a hot cocoa type thing. And then they have like some, I think like a lemon habanero or a mango chili or something, like some other fun, funky little brands. And, yeah, so they are wonderful. They come in these really easy grabbable packets. You get free shipping on all orders. You can buy them in bulk. So I will stock up. You buy 3 boxes, you get 1 free. So they end up becoming like just shy of $1 each or whatever. And it's so worth it. Like I've got my brother hooked on them now. So, I'll just snag a box for him when I do my buy one, get one, free now. Or I would split with a friend sometimes. And, they do, I know some of you will question or ask like, oh, but it says natural flavors on there. And I have listened, and I follow many, many people that I respect, that are very cautious and aware of that. And they have, partnered with Element, and I have actually emailed them personally asking about their reasons behind like, what is this natural flavors? And so I think there is a way that companies, that really are in it for the people, which I believe this company is, they work really hard to source in the best way for that. And so they have to put it on there in terms of saying natural flavors. And from the email, what I kind of gathered is it's created, what they told me is it's created through a spray dry process that turns liquid flavors, botanical or spice extracts, which would be fruit in this case, because like, raspberry and orange and citrus and stuff, into a shelf-stable powder. So that's basically what they told me. So if you have questions about that, you can email them too specifically. I'm very specific about things that I buy. I really don't buy many things with natural flavors. This I have absolutely no problem with. So I'm A-okay with that, but they come in easy grabbable packets. I will also link, I've shared many times in emails, I have a code for you, or a link, I should say, for you to be able to get a free sample pack. I think you get like 8 or 12, I think one of each flavor, I should say, so that you can kind of, try them all and see what you like best, with any order. So you could even buy just like a sample pack and get a free sample pack, or buy 1 box and get a free sample pack. It's free shipping. So if you use my link, you will be able to get that sample pack for free, which is super awesome. And I think they even include that chocolate one in there, which I didn't think I would like, guys. And then I got it and I was like, oh, I kind of like this. Or, when I make a hot drink, or when I drink protein powder after a workout, the chocolate, if it's chocolate and I add the chocolate salt, oh, it's so good. I think they even just came out with like a caramel chocolate one. So you have to look into that. So obviously, speak with a trusted medical practitioner, of course, if you have high blood pressure or cardiovascular issues. Like, you need to figure things out that way. I'm not here to recommend you do anything outside of, what you need to figure out with your care provider. This is not medical advice. This is just personal research and my own personal testimony to using this. 1,000 milligrams is appropriate for athletes for sure and active individuals. U.S. guidelines say no more than 2,300 milligrams per day to promote cardiovascular health. So these are some pretty awesome studies. So tune in. However, in the UK, they recommend people limit salt to 6,000 milligrams. U.S. guidelines say no more than 2,300. Okay? Why is there such a huge difference? And this is where our food system just drives me nuts. So much study and research findings are finding how critical sodium is to health. A study in 2011 found that 4 to 6 grams of sodium per day was the sweet spot for minimizing heart attacks and stroke risk. Like what? 4 to 6 grams of sodium per day. Another study found that low sodium intake was actually associated with high blood pressure. What? Weren't we told, don't have the salt because of the blood pressure? So don't be afraid of the salt. Watch for competitors that have sugars, like other brands, meaning competing against each other. Please watch for the sugars. There's a brand out there. There's many brands. There's one, Liquid IV. I'm just not a fan. You don't need to buy that. I think it's actually more expensive than Element if they're not on sale per packet. I'm pretty sure I saw that. But they've got, you just don't need all the extra sugars. If you're consuming other things for fuel, get your carbs and sugars from other things. If it's got a couple, that, whatever, fine. But, you don't need to be consuming 10 to 15 to 20 grams of sugar in your electrolytes. Now, if you're this ultra marathoner, we're talking, that's a whole different level, okay? You need that energy. But yeah, Liquid IV is a popular one that you might be paying for and getting less quality in terms of ingredients and what are they filling it with, okay? Again, I share it with my kids sometimes when they're sick or when they're just super active. And I know there's lots of brands out there. And so just be mindful, if you know that you are an active person, what are you really eating? Just pay attention. And maybe you're yeah, I do have some of these symptoms. I would recommend just upping it. Even if you got to take a half a packet of this, add in that and see what it does for you. I bet it would be night and day difference. So if you have questions, obviously feel free to email me. I mean, you can look at Element's website and they're going to have tons of things on there for you to explore and learn if you have questions. But I would really encourage you just to snag something from their site and grab a free sample pack with my link. And then Redmond Relight as well. That will be another option. They have canister options where you can scoop them. And just they have some coconut water. Everyone kind of has their own little twist on it. Both are great. Both I recommend. And both have really fun, delicious flavors to keep you hydrated and feeling well. And I want you guys to feel well all throughout the year in all different seasons of life, of motherhood, of, your fitnessing, and all of that. So I hope that this episode was helpful, that you gained insight from it, and that it opened your eyes to a whole new world of how sodium could be beneficial to you. So I hope that this show has encouraged you and blessed you and just brought you new perspectives on things, educated you, shined a light in an area that you just didn't know much about. And it would mean so much to me if you've gained a lot from this podcast, that you would just take 2 seconds and support the show by leaving a rating and review, honest rating and review. I read them all. I appreciate them all. And that is how we can grow this show. And as always, feel free to share this on your social media, share it with a friend, with your mom, whoever. That you are thinking of while listening to this. So grateful for you being here, and I will catch you on the next episode. Bye.